best practices to combat COVID-19. The term is combat because we all need to be COVID warrior. Our frontline workers, health workers, pharmacists, everybody, daily they are fighting directly with this COVID-19, and we cannot keep silent. So we have to support them. But in what term we need to support them, that I will discuss today. And many practices of what we are following, whether they are correctly we are following or not, that also I'll discuss through this presentation. So you can hear, you can see that I have already mentioned that content and illustrations mainly sources from Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, WHO, UNICEF. So I think already you know, and in first presentation already sir has discussed this thing that about the COVID-19. This is a third coronavirus, and which is basically emerged in Wuhan, and previously two other coronaviruses were there, that is SARS and MERS. First one was evolved in China in 2002, and second one in the Middle East 2012. The symptoms of COVID-19 are very common to other viral diseases like fever, dry cough, and difficulty in breathing. Some patients may have aches and pains, nasal congestion, runny nose, throats, etc. Infected person may be symptomatic or asymptomatic. I will discuss later on that about the asymptomatic patient, what we need to do. And most people infected with COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. Even in India, maximum people, as per WHO, more than 80% patients due to this COVID-19 recover without any special care. That is a good sign in a positive way. That is a good sign. We no need to be panic. Why we are panic? Why people are panic? Because of the spreading nature. The virus, this particular virus spreads so rapidly. So everybody is getting infected who are in close contact. Basically, in this disease, the older people, that is a high risk group, the person who are having diabetes, cancer, asthma, they should be taken care. Kind of symptom will, hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Okay, it showed actually here some network issue, that's why I told.
It's fine.
Okay. So in the bottom, you can see that there are Government of India helpline number. In case of such symptoms, we should call this helpline number immediately. So this is the data. I'd rather focus on the recovery rate, not how many people infected and active, whatever the death rate. No, you see the recovery rate. This data, the left side data, this data is up to 22nd May. You see 41% is the recovery rate, which is quite a high number, a very good number of percentage of recovery. So, and in right hand side, you can see this is yesterday up until 8 a.m. That is morning data. Also, if you calculate, you will find the 41% recovery rate. So these are the, as per official record, government record. So persons are recovered from this disease. This is not like that once somebody will catch this virus and he will be completely die or some severe disease, or he will be put in the ventilator. No, that is not the case. You see the next slide. It shows that this is the total infected case. Oh, sorry. This is the total infected case. That is, among this 100% active, that is total cases, 93.63% are normal care. They are under normal care. Only 6.33% require critical care. And what is that critical care? Among this critical care, only 4.5% are patients are kept in ventilator. Remaining 2.94 are in ICU and 2.94 in the oxygen support. So this is the reality. Actually, we should share this kind of information. Now, if anybody will talk about the COVID-19, immediately they will, the thinking is coming in our mind that, oh, this, if we'll catch this virus, will be, that is in severe problem, or will be kept in ventilator, like that. So this is not at all this fact. So the transmission, mainly this disease is transmitted by droplets. I'll talk about the another mode of transmission also. Basically, public should be aware of about the droplet infection. What is the droplet infection? That is, if an infected person sneeze or cough, then the infected droplet will come out. Where to come out? It may be fall on some surface or on the hand of the infected person. If you shake hand with the same infected person, or if you touch any surface where the droplet already fall on, then what will happen? Your hand will be contaminated. This is not like that. If you touch the droplet or touch the surface, the virus will be transferred to you. No, your hand will be contaminated on this particular point of time. We can do something to stop the transfer of the virus in your system. What is the measure? That you wash your hand, then the virus will not be transmitted. That measure is so simple, preventive measure, because as per today's report, that there is no such report, no confirmation by any authority that this virus is a airborne virus, that it can travel in air. No, it should get some droplet when the infected person will sneeze or cough, or even in intensive care unit through breathing or talking also, some small droplet which we call as aerosol, they will come out and they can contaminate the area. If you touch the area, then only there is a chance of getting that virus in your system. So now about the surface. See, I will tell you about very, very basic thing which you may know, may not know, or which you are not following accurately. I will just talk about those facts, not in the detail of the mechanism or something like that. So persistence of coronavirus on different surfaces, like other virus, there is also other virus means SARS or MERS. The nature, it was anticipated at the earlier that it will be similar, but later on through different study it found that no, it may persist on the surfaces from hours to day, depending on the temperature, surface, or humidity of the environment. Say on gloves, rubber gloves, it will stay for certain duration. On doorknobs or plastics or wooden material, it will then persistent time will be changed. So we no need to think about those things, that okay, if the virus can stay on this doorknob for, in some document it is mentioned, and it can stay up to 4 hours, so after 4 hours it will gone, so we no need to sanitize this. No, better, if you suspect any surface is contaminated with the virus, it has been exposed to a virus or infected person, better to clean the surface. And this is a good news, that the virus can be killed by the household disinfectant, or already government has recommended few disinfectant also. So better, and always when you are following the disinfection manner, that is, you are cleaning your surface, after cleaning of the surface, don't forget to wash your hand. That is very important. So this is the this chart is given by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. This chart is basically how to prepare 1% sodium hypochlorite solution, the surface disinfectant recommended by Government of India, that we can use 1% sodium hypochlorite solution as a disinfectant, surface disinfectant. And you just listen the word carefully. This is the surface disinfectant. When I'll show the myths and facts, you'll see so there is some misinformation regarding disinfectant also. So the very common way how we can prepare this 1% sodium hypochlorite solution. Everybody in our household item, bleaching powder is there. You see here the last column, bleaching powder. You can prepare by this procedure you dissolve 7 gram in 1 liter. Now we can all are we technical people, so we know about that, how to prepare this 7 gram in 1 liter or in one bucket, how much gram we need to pour this bleaching powder. So very easily we can prepare this 1% sodium hypochlorite solution. And there is another information by the government of India that the surface which we cannot clean with sodium hypochlorite solution, we need to use at least 70% alcohol and wipe down the surface so that the germs will be, that is this virus can be killed or cleaned off. So you can note down this or these are available on government website also. So now the prevention, hand hygiene. First, I will talk about the hand hygiene. There are three terms we have heard. First is hand hygiene. Second is respiratory hygiene. Third one is social distancing. But we should remember these three preventive measures are interlinked. We cannot avoid any one of them to get rid of this virus or to be protected ourselves from the virus. No, if we forget any one of the measures, then there is a high risk that we may be contaminated with the virus. So first, I think you know that how to wash the hand, and I would like to request the participant, you go through this portion that how to wash your hand, and you please let me in the chat box whether you are following exactly or not. Wash your hand often with soap and water for 20 seconds minimum. At least 20 seconds, especially after you have been in public places and after blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing. Be fair while you are responding anything. There is no marks, nothing. Just be honest and let me know whether you are following these guidelines exactly or not at your office or at your home. Second thing, there is a confusion that whether we should use hand sanitizer or whether we should use soap and water. Somebody, what they're doing after cleaning their hand with soap and water, again after drying they are using this hand sanitizer. So not required at all. If you're having soap and water, that is the best solution. You go for 20-second washing of your hand as per the recommended process of washing hand by WHO. If you don't have, say you are in office or you are traveling somewhere, you are having at least 70% alcohol-based hand rub, then you can use that alcohol-based hand rub. That is a recommendation. What we should not do, touch your eyes, nose and mouth with unwashed hand. Every time you need to touch your eyes, nose or mouth, please wash your hand as per this guideline and then you can touch. There will be less chance of contamination. And as much as possible, you avoid to touch the surfaces like doorknobs, doorbells, elevator buttons, ATM surfaces. You avoid to touch those surfaces. Sometimes it is obvious that we need to touch those surfaces, but after that we have to wash our hand. This is only the way hand hygiene. There is no other guideline, and I'm confirming that there is no other guideline of washing your hand. You have to follow this guideline. This is the process recommended by WHO. This 11th step we need to follow while we are washing hand. It is not like that WHO or the government of India, they have given the guidelines for 20 seconds. So we'll keep the soap or foam on our hand and we'll wait for 20 seconds and then the germs will be killed. No, we have to follow this guideline and we have to inform our community, inform our family members about this process, how to properly wash your hand. So here is one link. If you type on YouTube or Google that WHO recommended hand washing method, it is available in YouTube also. That how one video is there that how to wash your hand properly. So I'm moving to next slide. This is another information how to hand rub, because everywhere the hand washing method is gradually spreading that okay, this way many of us we know about how to wash the hand with soap and water, but this kind of information we have to follow. That WHO has recommended how to rub the hand with alcohol based sanitizer. These are the 8-step process. we have to follow at least for 20 to 30 seconds until the hand rub will dry on our hand. So we need to follow this guideline. So next, respiratory hygiene. We all know, nobody can say that I don't know about respiratory hygiene, because it is not a new practice. Even hand wash is not a new practice. In our school, from our school, we know how to do the hand washing and how to follow the respiratory hygiene. So what we should do at this particular situation, do use a handkerchief or tissue to cover your face while coughing or sneezing. Very, very basic practice. We need to follow this one. And we should not show any overconfidence. So no, I am not infected with the virus, so I can cough or sneeze openly. No, it is not a big issue. No, we have to follow at this moment these 4 practice. Then do throw the used tissue immediately into a closed dustbin. Whatever the tissue you have used to sneeze or cough, you just immediately throw the tissue on the closed dustbin. If you have used the handkerchief, do not use it repeatedly, or do not use it a second time. Just wash it in the soap water. Do cover your sneeze into your bent upper arm in case you are not carrying a tissue or a handkerchief. With your arm, upper arm, you can protect your mouth and you can cough or sneeze. Do wash immediately after you have covered your sneeze or cough. This process we can follow when we doesn't have anything with us, but immediately we have to sneeze or cough on our hand. So immediately you wash your hand. What we should not do, these are the process. We should not use any other cloths item to cover the cough or sneeze. And another very important respiratory hygiene measure, that is, do not spit on open. Always use a spittoon or wash basin for spitting. There are, if you have observed, there are many measures has been taken. Very awareness program has been taken to aware the people about the spitting habit. We have always observed, if you go through a market also, you will find at least for 10 to 15 people still they are spitting openly. So we have to take some measure, or we have to do some awareness. At least we can do spread the information to our friends and family. That will be much more. If you then mask manager, here I will take some time to give you a detailed idea about mask management. So first thing is, use a mask correctly. So whether we know how to use a mask correctly, I think 50% of us still doesn't know that how to use mask properly. We know how to use mask. I'll show you that, then you will realize that, yeah, among us, maybe among our participant also, many of us, we are not following this guideline. So how to use a mask? Before using, you wash your hand, then inspect the mask for any tears or holes. Cover your mouth, nose and chin. Adjust the mask to your face, leaving any gaps on the sides. Avoid touching the mask while you are using the mask. Don't touch it repeatedly, or even not once also. Do not pull the mask down or hang it from the neck. So these are the measures we should follow while we are using mask correctly. I have written one line in red font that cloth face covering should not be placed on younger children below age 2, or the people who are suffering from breathing difficulties. So I will expect some chat response from the viewers, that whether they are using, I would like to see their confidence, whether they are using the correct, that is, whether they are wearing the mask correctly or not. So anybody can fairly write yes or no. Okay, so next I'll go to the next slide. I'll show into the reality of the mask management, what we are doing and what we should do. Yes, I have seen one participant has written, yes, sir. Okay, I will request that particular participant to follow this second and third slide, and then again revert back to me whether they are following same practice or not. Okay. So this is the correct process. This is the correct process we should follow while we are using the mask. Wear the mask, it should cover your nose, mouth and chin. And nose means it should go up to the nose bridge. There should not be any space on the side of the mask. It should not a loose fit, it should be firm fit with a or moderate fit with the face. So this is the actual mask wearing process. So I'm continuing getting the response. Yes, sir. Okay, that is very, very nice. If you're following, you please aware others also. And please go to the next slide. Then again, I will expect some response from you. Okay. These are the practice we should not do, or how these are the practice we that is we should avoid while we are wearing a mask. First one, you see, wear the mask below your nose. This is don't. You should not. Nose should not be open. Do not leave your chin exposed. Do not wear mask loosely with the gaps on the sides. I will skip this one and next I'll jump to the next one. Do not push your mask under your chin to rest on your neck. I have seen many person. I don't know whether you have not. Many person in the market, not in the house, in the market also. This fifth option become a fashion also, to wear a mask in the public place. So I'd like to request our participant, anyone can give a chat message. What is this fourth one? Why it is showing don't? Is it visible, clearly understandable? That what is the wrong in this picture? Why it is kept under this how not to wear mask? It looks, it is well that the person has correctly wear the mask. This, you see in this figure, the person wear the mask just to cover the tip of the nose. That is also a wrong process. It should be like this. So these details are very basic. And why I am providing these very basic details, we are doing some mistake in this basic detail, that one mistake one day for 1 minute or 1 second can harm us. So we should be very careful how not to wear a mask. Very nice response I am receiving from the participants also. Very attentive actually. So now I'm going to give you some more details about the mask. Acha, before that, I would like to place another question. If I'm not, is it okay? I'm asking some question, Pratiksha.
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Yeah. So can you, the participant, can you tell me that which kind of mask you are using, or what do you think that which kind of mask you should wear? I will just take 1 minute here. I'll let you the response. Please let me know what kind of mask you are wearing, or according to you, what kind of mask should be wear. Yes, N95 mask, surgical mask is good, 3-ply mask, self-made cotton mask, as well as homemade. Yeah. N95, too many response I am getting for N95. N95, very nice. 3-plated surgical mask, okay, 3-ply mask. Okay, N95. So majority going for N95 mask, then surgical mask, then cloth mask. Okay. So I'm assuming that all we are pharmacists, first thing. And many of the participants, not all, a number of participants are staying at home. Few are students, few are faculties, those who are taking the classes from home, and few are COVID warriors. COVID warriors mean the pharmacists, our fellow pharmacists who are taking the risk of their life to fight this disease at the healthcare center. So let me show you the detail, which kind of mask we should wear and which kind of mask we should not wear. CDC guidelines, do you know the full form of CDC? Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Okay, CDC guideline. they have given some unpleasant fact against your comment. They have not given a tick for N95 or surgical mask for, they have given a tick for cloth mask. They have recommended for general public. They have recommended for general public they should use a cloth mask. And you see here it is written as per the advisory of Government of India. They have mentioned the person who are not underlying any medical condition or not having any breathing problem, they should also go for the this cloth made mask. Even our honorable minister, honorable health minister, our prime minister, they are all using cloth made mask. So why this recommendation? What they have recommended? They have recommended necessary for medical facility and first responder. They should wear this surgical mask, N95 mask. CDC has given the guideline that N95 mask should be preserved for the frontline health worker or frontline worker. The general public should not go for N95 mask because there is a severe scarcity of N95 mask. We should understand this fact very clearly from now, that we should not go for N95 masks. We should not go for the cloth mask is sufficient. Why? Because if you go to this third and fourth point, then the thing will be there will be clarification. Protects against droplets. Cloth mask, all the masks are given protection against droplets. Protect against aerosol, only giving N95 respirator. So here the question comes, what is droplet and what is aerosol? We know that for us, the general public, we should be aware about the droplets, because this virus can be come out from the cough and sneeze. What is aerosol? Droplets are larger size of particle. They cannot travel much more. They approximately 1 meter. Before that, they will fall on the surface. But what about the aerosol? Whether we are exposing to the aerosol? Aerosol are the particles, very, very smaller particle which are coming out from the infected person or normal person also through the breath and through the while they are talking also. So that smaller particle may be suspended in the air, and that will be persistent for some hour. So only healthcare worker will be in close contact with the aerosol particle, because they are in a closed chamber, because in the ICU or in the hospital there is no open space. We are in the open space. In open space, what CDC has recommended, there is a less chance of existence of this aerosol in open space. If we are maintaining social distancing, if we are maintaining hand wash norms, there is no need to use N95 mask. That is not my view, that is the guideline says. So we have to go for at least 2-layer to 3-layer mask, homemade cloth made mask. So now you see another comparison, that is a disposable mask, that is a surgical mask, homemade cotton mask. There is a difference. What difference? Surgical masks are single use. Homemade masks can be multiple time used. Effectiveness against virus particle 97%, here 70%. Now I think many of the participants can ask some questions. Sir, you are recommended, or CDC or Government of India has recommended a 70% mask which is effective for people. Still you are recommending this particular mask for us. How? Because there are several studies. Here the reference also. What they have found, how they have conducted the studies, they have taken very smaller particle, that is 0.02 micron particles, which is generally 5 times less than the size of the coronavirus. And they have bombarded on these two kind of masks. Now, what they have found that the double layer 100% cotton cloth are 70% as effective as surgical mask. So there is, if we make it triple layer, then it is much more better. So that is the basis why we should go for the homemade cotton mask. That is easily, and the more advantages are you can repeatedly wash it, you can prepare on your home. There are many guidelines by Government of India also, video they have issued how to prepare the mask at home. So you can easily prepare 3-layer cotton mask, and you can use that particular mask. Now, there is another fact that you should see this one, disposable mask. I have seen many people, they are using surgical masks repeatedly, even they are washing. N95, many participant has told N95 is best. I would like to ask the participant whether you are repeatedly using the mask, whether you are washing the mask. So if you are repeatedly using the same mask, or if you are washing the same mask with soap, water, or any measure, that will not give protection against this virus. So ultimately, you are not wearing something when you are front. It is better you wear the cloth-made mask. Or you, if you can afford, you go for N95 regularly, new one. That cannot be affordable also, because it is costly. And where you will get this mask? That is another question. Because there are, if you observe masks, they are not N95. Many of them written KN95. Many have given some different. There are two kind of masks: N95 and N99, and we have to preserve those masks for healthcare workers. That is all. So next is replacing of mask. What in general, in some survey, it has been found that people are coming to home, they are putting off the mask and throwing in the dustbin. That is a wrong practice. Better you don't wear the mask in that situation, because it will not harm you also, it will harm community people also. So replacing mask, how to replace the mask? That should be, when to replace mask? When you feel that the mask is not properly dry, that is, it has been damp or humid, then you should immediately replace the same mask. Remove, how to remove the mask? If you are wearing the string based mask, that is basically surgical mask or cloth made mask, how we are preparing upper tie and lower. So first use the string, which is 1 minute, there is some issue. Okay, so first you should untie the lower string, then you go for untying the upper string, and you handle the mask with the upper string. That is the simple procedure we have to follow. We have to forget about our own concept, own measure. We have to follow this guideline for the sake of the community and our family member also. Now, disposing of mask. So I'm quite sure that we are following the actual process. Okay, there are a few questions in the chat box. So I will be answering later on. It is difficult during this presentation to answer this question. So you please note those questions.
Yes.
Okay. So disposing of mask. See, the line I have made it capital. If you wear a mask, then you must know how to use it and dispose of it properly. It is not like that I can wear the mask correctly, so I will use a mask. No, I should know the disposal technique also. There are many guidelines of Government of India. What I've tried to gather those information in this presentation. One thing I should inform the host, if you were having any shortage of time, please let me know 5 minutes ahead so that I can
Kindly continue. There is no issue.
Okay. Thank you. So I will go for two kinds of that is disposal technique for cloths and surgical masks. So cloths, never reuse a cloth mask without cleaning it. That is, you are using a mask that is near about 4 to 6 hours. You can use the same mask. Then you have to clean that particular mask. After removal the cloth mask, it should be washed properly. How? Drop it directly on soap solution or boiling water to which salt has been added. Two way. You ask your family member to prepare soap solution for you. When you enter to home, you just drop the mask on your cloth made mask on the soap water and wash it properly. Another way is there should be boiling water. You drop some salt in that solution and you can wash. These are the two techniques. Don't use if you can ask that hand sanitizer is ordered. I'm having access to alcohol based sanitizer, I can spray the sanitizer on the cloth, so it will be. No, don't go for those techniques. These are not going to give you a solution to decontaminate your mask. Next, the technique to sterilize or decontaminate the surgical mask, there is only one technique. Don't use it further. Reuse. Don't reuse. Surgical mask you should not reuse. If you wash the mask, then what will happen? There is a fiber there, maybe the distance between the fiber may increase. So ultimately there is no use of wearing those particular masks after washing. So what we should do? Whether we should directly throw the surgical mask in the dustbin? No, because we have to assume that I am wearing this mask in the public places, so some virus may stick on that. So what we should do? Same process we have to follow. Before throwing to a dustbin, first you decontaminate the mask, surgical mask. First you drop into the soap water or drop a warm in a hot water, including the salt. Then you wash it properly, then you dispose of. Then what will happen? All the virus, if there, will be killed, and when you are throwing, it will be particular. Basically, you are throwing to dustbin, so no particular other person will be infected with that virus. That is our duty, and we have to do. After removal, or when by mistake you can touch the mask also. So in that case, what we should do immediately after removal also, we should wash our hand properly with the same as I have shown, 20 seconds, at least for 20 seconds with soap and water, or 70% alcohol based hand rub. These two are the solution. So participants, those who are using N95 mask, now a question to them: whether you are reusing a mask, N95 mask regularly, or whether you are washing it. If you are washing it, how? So again, 30 seconds, you please answer. Those who are using N95 mask, whether you are reusing the mask or using same mask, you just frankly speaking, we are discussing something and that will come to some solution. So whether we are using the same mask, N95 users, whether you are using the same mask repeatedly or you are cleaning, yes, somebody told me yes. So sir, please let us know whether you are washing or in which technique you are washing the decontaminating the N95 mask. Okay, we'll be waiting. And yeah, some responses came. Cleaning, and yes, we repeatedly, I use cotton mask, but before your speech, I thought, okay, nice. So now I'll show you one data. See the bottom, it is written in the yellow highlighted. I have highlighted in yellow. All FDA approved or FDA cleared N95 respirator are labeled as single-use disposable device. Single-use disposable device. But in April 2000, this year, April month, FDA has approved the disinfection of N95 masks, because only reason there is of N95 masks, healthcare workers are not getting appropriate number of N95 masks. So they have approved the disinfection process, but that we cannot follow in our home. That is a specialized process, basically using vapor of hydrogen peroxide. So we cannot use, because if you use soap and water or 70% alcohol spraying, so that N95 mask, either it will not be disinfected properly, or its nature, the fiber nature will be degraded or changed, so that it will not give you the protection. So we have to be very careful while we are selecting, even surgical mask also. Do you know that which surgical mask you are wearing? What is the property? What should be the property of it? There are 4 or 5 tests of a surgical mask. Say some fire test is there, some blow test is there, some light test is there. So we can do those tests in our home also. If you go through the YouTube or Google you answer you that how to check a surgical mask. Even I was using one surgical mask before 1 month. So immediately when I've seen the particular 10 rupees or 20 rupees mask is not may not give me the protection, and then I go through these guidelines that cloth masks are very effective. So I have changed my mind and I'm going now using this one. So these three techniques are the disposal, that is the sanitization of homemade mask. This is particularly for homemade. First one, you wash it in wash the mask in warm water and soap. That is the best solution, but you need to have access to sunlight for at least 5 hours. You need to place in sunlight. If you do not have access to sunlight, then you go for the second is place the mask in water in a pressure cooker and pressure boil it for at least 10 minutes and leave it to dry. This is the second technique. Of course, adding salt to water is recommended always. In the absence of pressure cooker, you may boil the cloth mask in hot water for 15 minutes. If you do not have access to pressure cooker, boiling water, then what we should do? Then again you go for the first process, that you wash the mask as per the process mentioned in the number 1 method and dry it with applying some heat, maybe with the iron. So these are the very simple method. We should not apply our innovative brain to find out some other solution to wash the cloths. So we have to be very careful about selection of masks, selection of disinfectant. Those masks are reuse of masks. So I think I'm able to make you understand the theory of mask. Basically, we can say, okay.